All right, hello and welcome or welcome back to the Worldwide Wolves podcast, a newer Timberwolves podcast coming to you from around the world. I am here in a closet in Pittsburgh, and my co-host Jake, where are you coming to us from today?
Coming to you from Melbourne, Australia, in my office, looking very pale. I just looking at myself in this thing. I'm gonna blame the lighting in here, but I am a pale human, so
It's the Australian lighting. It's winter over
mm,
there. We can't blame
yeah.
you.
I'm
It's
meant
all
to be
good.
tan. We're meant to be tanned because it's hot as a hot country, but I am pretty much translucent.
There you go. Jeez, Australia's freak. Sorry, it just freaks me out, man. All I ever see with you guys is huge bugs and creatures and stuff, and
Yeah, I did kill a spider in my house about 20 minutes ago, so um, yeah, we do have bugs, and not as bad as everyone says. I mean, it is overrated, but
just
maybe it's just because I've seen some big spiders. I had a spider on my windshield of my car once while I was driving home, and it was probably bigger than my hand.
yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, but we
Jeez.
don't have we
Anyways,
don't have that much stuff, guys. Come to Australia, come see me. We'll have a beer, and I'll bring a snake.
yes, it makes more sense for everyone to go to Australia than for Jake to come back to the USA to watch a Wolves game. All right. We are going to be talking about the Timberwolves today. And, we're going to be going over some summer league stuff. That's exciting. It's coming up. I think it is, some years it's not exciting at all, but the Wolves actually do have some players this year. I'll throw the roster up on the screen so everyone can look at it here. Of notes, the players that we are going to be talking about include Jaylen Clark, Rob Dillingham, maybe some Leonard Miller, but for sure Terrence Shannon Jr., maybe some Baron J, and the other rookie whose name is
Rocco
Rocco
Zikarsky.
Zikarsky. I forgot it until
Yeah.
that moment. All right.
He's not officially on the roster at the
Yes,
moment, but I
yes.
think that's just because I think he's part of the KD trade. I think that's how that ended up working out. So that he's not officially
Should we talk about
signed.
the ins and outs of the Kevin Durant trade? Do you want to talk about the stretch clause and the
How long do we have?
not nearly long enough? So instead, we'll talk about the players that are actually on the Wolves here. Well, we can include Rocco if we want to, but just yeah, we kind of want to go over just what we want to see from these guys in summer league and just how that transitions to the regular season, as a whole here. We talked a lot about all three of these guys, the main ones, Rob, TJ, and Jaylen Clark in the first episode of this week, but this is just going to be more in depth on all three of them. So, yeah, should we start with Mr. Dillingham? He's the kind of the key topic.
I want to pose a question to you first, a theoretical question. How much stock do you put into someone either dominating or not playing well? Like if Rob Dillingham averages 18 and 7 and he has a good summer league, I think we will all just be like, well, that was cool. He's good enough to play in the summer league setting. We hope he's good enough to play in an NBA setting. How much stock do you put into it if he averages 30 and 8 or if he averages 9 and 4? Like, does that
Yeah.
does that shape your opinion on him at all, or do you hold the opinion you had from watching a full rookie season and having the same expectations?
I guess, of course, I've got to see what it looks like, but more so if he's bad in summer league than if he's really good, because he should be. He should be
Yeah,
really,
yeah.
really good. Like I fully expect him to be really, really good. But if he somehow averages 9 and 4 or something,
Hmm.
then there's a problem here, and we need to fully dive into this point guard situation even more than we already have. Will say I really don't expect him to be bad. I think he's gonna be borderline great. Like he might have an off shooting night where he goes 7
Yeah,
of 23 or something, but like
yeah.
I think overall him and for sure Terrence Shannon Jr. are gonna absolutely light it up on the summer league floor. And if they don't, that will make me more worried than excited if they do great. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that makes sense. And like you said, it's such a small sample size. Like these, especially if they're playing well or in general pretty well, like they might play 2 or 3 games. So I think looking at the numbers, unless it's really bad, like you said, but if he has 2 good games and then shoots, 7 of 23, he's probably going to be shooting like 39% from the field through summer league. And I think that is a bit of a flawed way to look at it if you're just going to look at the numbers. But like you said, it's more of to me, it's more of a feeling thing. Like when you're watching, like I feel like I want to feel like Rob Dillingham is better than the players he's playing with.
Yes.
So to me, it's not really a numbers thing unless, like you said, it's really awful. But with Rob, I think you just want to see You want to see more of the things that you know he's good at consistently. Does that make sense? Like
Absolutely.
I want to see him be a really good playmaker. I want to see him getting to the rim. I want to see him shooting floaters, and then you want to see him. I want to see him shoot threes off the dribble. That because I think in the NBA, if you're a small guard, you need to be able to hit pull up threes. It's pretty much a non-negotiable in my mind. Like there's never been, or at least in this modern era, there's never been a small guard that makes sense that doesn't hit threes like a Kemba Walker. Like I always think Kemba Walker is the very top Rob Dillingham comp. Kemba was tiny. He wasn't always on, a huge plus because he was so tiny, but he was a good player. He was a really good player. And
He
he was
never had this kind of
fancy.
roster. Like
No. And he was fancy and he was fast and he was athletic for a small guy. But his main thing, especially in that kind of prime of Kemba's career, was that he hit pull-up threes at an insane rate and was really good at setting up his man, getting open, and then hitting threes. So I think that's the thing I want to see from Rob the most, is I want to see him walking into threes confidently.
yes, I was gonna say that's the key word actually. Just overall confidence from Rob Dillingham. Like I am the best player on this court right now, and I'm gonna show it to you. Like catch and shoot off the dribble threes, get into get into the rim. Extremely important. The Wolves absolutely need him to do that. They did lose some of that rim gravity with Nikhil. I think TJ brings some of that, but Rob's got to be that man because the other point guard sure as heck is not anymore. So yeah, a lot lying on Rob's shoulders there. I guess just for this summer league in this season, what is the absolute ceiling for this season for Rob even close to Kemba Walker in your mind? Like that's the ultimate player comp in 4 years, right? But like right now, how close to that can we get? Because like it or not, for Rob's development, the Wolves are in a borderline championship window. They're a top 6-7 team in the league, and this 20-year-old point guard is going to be thrown into, I mean, a really, really dramatic role. Or we could be wrong about this. We said this last episode. He could play less than like Dante and Mike and everyone else and play 12 minutes a game. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think they go get a point guard if that's not the case. So we're both on the train of Rob's going to play this year. 20 minutes, I think minimum, has got to happen. So this year, in your opinion, his ceiling, how close to his ultimate ceiling is it going to be? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It feels unlikely, doesn't it, that he would...
Yes.
Like, if he was Kemba Walker or even Kemba Walker light, the Wolves would probably win the championship. Like, that's how important he is in terms... And that's not to say he needs to do that. Like, but in terms of it's such an important position. It's such a position that they're kind of lacking in right now, that if Rob was like, second year Rob Dillingham is averaging 20 points a game, that would be like, I couldn't even wrap my head around that, because they would be an extremely good team. So I don't expect that, but I do think, that's a 4 or 5 year projection, ideal projection. I think this season you want to just feel like he belongs on an NBA court, and I think the times last season where he felt that way, other times we could tell that the flaws he had. I think he lost confidence too easily last season. I don't think being whipped in and out of the lineup helped, but also, that's part of the NBA. Like, young guys sometimes don't play, and the best young guys, or the guys that develop really well, are guys who can take the hits of the NBA in terms of, you're going to have a really bad night. You might play less minutes this night. You might not play at all this night because you're a young guy. And you need to be able to stay confident and keep playing your game through that. So I think Summer League is the very first step for next season for Rob, because if he has a really great Summer League, that kind of starts that confidence all up again. So you said it. I think confidence is super important for Rob, and I think this is the place where you start to get that confidence. And I don't think he needs to average 30 points a game for that to be a good thing. I just think that he needs to be one of the best guys out there, play his game. His game is the type of game that is exciting to watch. So if he's playing well, he will stand out.
Yeah, I'm right with you on that. And I guess just going into this season on Rob, your expectations for him last year, you've mentioned it before, were very limited. Like, we didn't expect really anything. And after this year one, where he was in and out of the lineup, Have your expectations or your just overall thought on his career changed really at all? Because for me, they have not. I still think he can be, I mean, as good as, he can be. I mean, he's got the best players around him, really, that you'd ask for, a really good coaching staff, good front office, good infrastructure, period. So if Rob's going to turn into what he can be, like his top percentile, I think it is in, can't believe I'm saying this, an organization like the Minnesota Timberwolves. But we've seen it, with Anthony Edwards here, and I think Jaden McDaniels, 25th, whatever, late first round pick becoming this. And we see it with other young guys. They're hitting at least, their 80th percentile for the most part. So
Yeah.
I do think if Rob's going to do that, it is here. And I haven't lost any of that confidence after year one. Would I have liked to see more of him? Yes. Would it have helped the year two jump go smoother? Yes. But I don't think what happened in year one disrupted my thoughts of him going forward. I just think it was a Chris Finch saying, I want to play the guys that are the best here. And he just didn't trust Mike at all. And he was 19 years old. I mean, that's crazy to think about.
And they were in the Western Conference Finals the season before.
Yeah, so it's not exactly.
And so you can get Finch's logic. And they got DiVincenzo, 3 days before media day or the day before media day. Like there was excuses built in there for Finch. I think I agree with you. I think they should have worked harder to get him to find minutes for him rather than just being like,
but it's not because he would have been really good. It would have. It's because he would have allowed him to make the mistakes, like turning it over and being really bad.
They would have been. And if Chris Finch was here with us right now, he'd say, "Guys, like we were one game out of the play-in, and if I played Rob every night, we probably lose one more game." And that would make sense. But I think you're right in terms of there is a distinction to be made for people saying play Rob. It's not, in my mind, it's play Rob because we need Rob to develop. We need his archetype of player. And we need to see, like, if you draft a guy with the 8th overall pick and you use an asset to move up to get him, you need him to work out. So to me, playing Rob Dillingham would have been, let's let him play through mistakes. Let's let him make us be a little bit worse so that we can be a little bit better quicker. So that didn't happen, obviously, but this season it's going to happen. And with Rob, to answer your original question, I think I agree with you, is that I expected Rob Dillingham to be a bad defender who can be turnover prone. He's a little bit wild. He plays like a street baller, so I expected there to be the cons that come with that type of player. And that's what we saw. And I expect that to be even when he's a good player. I expect him to still be small. I expect him to still be, have some dumb turnovers and to be a bit loose with things because he plays in that free-flowing kind of way. So my only caveat to that would be I thought he'd be a really good shooter from day one. I will never agree with the team reworking a player's shot when they were already a good shooter. Like, that's just the stance I have. That's not really me annoyed at the Wolves. It's me annoyed at every team that's ever reworked a player's shot when they were a good shooter. Markelle Fultz is the prime example of that, who just never recovered from having his shot reworked. So, like I said last episode, he was a great shooter in college. Like, he was one of the best shooters in the country in terms of the shots he's taking, how many he's taking, the way he's getting to his shots, and how many he's making. 45% on insane volume, off the dribble threes, deep threes, spin around a pick and shoot a three. Like, that type of guy who was like, oh my God, this guy is going to kill us from deep if we don't throw two bodies at him. And he got trapped a ton coming off ball screens in college. So that bit, him being a bad shooter last season, isn't rare for a small point guard in their first season who is a good shooter to have a bad rookie season shooting. But the fact they felt like they needed to remodel his whole shot concerns me a little bit, because I'm just always worried a guy's never going to find what made them a great shooter again. If they have to learn a new shot. Sure. And sometimes they'll just, if you have the touch and you have the skill, you just figure out a new shot and you become better again. So that is the only bit where I'm a little bit concerned. Like I said, that he's not ever going to be like a 39% 3-point shooter because I think he needs to.
Yes, that's
Maybe
what I was going to say. He
maybe not
needs to
next
be.
season, but he needs to be to hit his potential. I think he needs to be to like be a rotating player in the NBA.
Yeah, he's in such an interesting spot because obviously you'd love to, as we've said, give him that time to kind of come in and make mistakes. But at the same time, he kind of solves a few of the Wolves' biggest weaknesses while still being a guy that's like, can we actually put this guy in our rotation? We don't know.
Yeah, it's weird.
It really is. He's the most interesting player to discuss on this roster, in my opinion, because we've seen it at least from everyone else, and Rob just has such a huge role. But man, I mean, we could talk about him for a while. Should we move on to someone else playing in this summer league here?
Yeah, let's
right.
just hit quickly on Terrance Shannon Jr.
I was thinking actually that we go to Amari Bailey, but yeah, we can do Terrance Shannon Jr.
I have said to you, I will do 5 minutes on Amari Bailey. Don't get me started.
No, that's all right.
I think Terrance Shannon Jr. will play like 2 games, and I think he'll dominate summer league. Like I don't think that way about Rob. I'm like I think he'll play well. I hope he plays really well. Terrance Shannon Jr. I think will just dominate. Like,
give me a stat line. What do you think?
Like 28 points, 28, 7 and 3. Yeah, like I wouldn't be surprised if the first game of summer league he like scores 40.
Yeah,
because he's just like, this is something I was thinking about. Terrance Shannon Jr. breakdown this week on House and Browse. And I remember this time last season, my concern about TJ was, is he going to be the most athletic player on the floor when he's playing in the NBA? Because he looked like that every single game in college, and it was really obvious that he was like a 24-year-old man playing against 19, 20-year-olds
sure.
And a super athletic one. Like, he just bowled people over. He got to the rim at will. It just all the things that we know he can do, except he was playing kids when he was doing it.
He was playing Rob Dillingham.
Yeah, exactly. And like, he looked like a grown man. And I was like, I don't know if that's going to work. He's going to have to become a better shooter. He's going to have to become a better passer. All the things you expect. And then he played in the NBA, and every single game he looked like the most athletic player out there. Like against the Thunder, who were like crazy athletes. He got the ball, and it was like, oh, none of those guys can stay in front of him or can stop him at the rim when he gets going downhill. Like, and no one ever did all season. And that doesn't mean that he was the most unstoppable player on the court. But he always looked like the most athletic player. Like in transition, he's insane in transition, dude. Like when he gets the ball on a rebound, he beats everyone up the floor every time. And then if there's someone there's a possession. I mean, I don't have the clip on me, but like here's a possession where he beats like 4 Thunder players down the court, and Lou Dort is in front of him, and he steamrolls Lou Dort. Like he doesn't even stand a chance against Shannon Jr. with a head of steam. So in my mind, I'm like, let's just do that in summer league. Play 3 games, score 30 every night, and then you can dip back to Minnesota.
Yeah, Terrance Shannon Jr. is Terrance is it TJ whatever.
I think he prefers TJ. I need to start saying that. I'm not used to it.
It's respectful. Yeah. So yeah, we will. I promise. But yeah, TJ Shannon is someone I'm very much looking forward to seeing play. I'm just intrigued. The transition thing that you mentioned, getting into transition. I'm interested to see like how that translates to when he's playing a legitimate 7th, 8th man role in a rotation, because a lot of it was, okay, we're down 10 against the Thunder. Let's throw the grenade on the court, and now all of a sudden you're sprinting up and down, and just can that actually translate to consistency all game long? Not all game long, but 20 minutes a night if need be. We did a mock rotation. We had him at about 13, but I'd like him to be playing anywhere from 15, 18, 20 at least. So can we see that, especially on offense, like just consistency in the transition game? Can he push guys like Julius Randle and Anthony Edwards to go into transition themselves more often? Like I think we saw Nickeil Alexander-Walker. He was chaotic, but he was solid in transition. And Terrance Shannon or TJ Shannon here playing with these guys more often. Can the Wolves just be a faster team? Because they're slow. Julius Randle's a slow player. Rudy Gobert is, oh my God, I actually don't want to see that at all in transition play. But man, Terrance Shannon, he just injects this life into this team that I'm very intrigued to see on a much more consistent role. And it sounds like from everything the coaching staff has said this offseason that they plan to do that. So does TJ Shannon go slower or does the team kind of go faster with him, or is it just he just gets out there and does what he does? What do you think of all that?
I hope they just unleash
Yeah.
him being him, because that's. I don't think he's as good of a player if you try and conform him into a half court only, catch and shoot
No.
guy. Like, I just think that you put the grenade out there for longer. You put a few grenades out there, and hope they blow up. So,
Throw Bear and
yeah,
Jay out there too. You're all running. No,
yes.
don't actually
And
do
I
that.
love the point you made. I love the point you made that is he like what will swing how important this transition stuff is, or just the ability to push pace is he a catalyst for the other guys? Is Ant going to run with TJ all night? Because if that's the case, then 13 minutes isn't enough. If you can get this team playing in transition more consistently, if you can get Ant playing in transition, Julius, they're all guys who are great finishers in transition. They just don't do it enough.
Yeah.
So if those guys are like, oh, TJ's out here now, we play fast. We run, we headman the ball up to him. We throw outlet passes off rebounds to each other. He's going to get a rebound and he's going to push. I need to be on the flank alongside him because I'll get an easy bucket. Like, that would be like a game changer to me for this team, because they just don't have anyone who can do that. They were 27th in transition frequency last season, 30th in transition frequency off missed shots or off live rebounds.
It's not their game. It's not the Chris Finch style.
No. So I'd like to see TJ Shannon be a better rebounder as well. Because if he can get, I don't know how to put it in terms of a 15-minute role, but if he was playing 30 minutes and he was a guy who was getting 7 rebounds a night, that would feel like, all right, that's 7 chances right away that we're going to get out in transition. We're going to push the pace. So I guess in Summer League, I'd like to see him rebound the ball better. I know that's not his role, but it does. I think that will add to what he does
go
best.
Get the ball and just go. Like, get the ball and you're the guy. You just go, like, literally.
Yeah.
In Summer League.
And in the half court too. In the half court too. When you get the ball, just go. He's got a really good pump fake, which I found rewatching his games this season. Is he's not a good shooter. NBA teams know that if a rookie is out there, we are going to make them shoot threes. Like, it's pretty much universal, even for guys who are good shooters. Like, if you go on the court,
see with Rob Dillingham, they may not be good shooters in the NBA right away.
Yeah, if you are on the court and we don't really know who you are, we're going to make you shoot threes. And even then, he still managed to attack closeouts all the time, because he just has this like slow pump fake load up where he'll just
and then it's the slow load up, and then the first step is so explosive.
The first step is insane, man. And he did that again. Like, he played so many games against OKC this season, it was kind of ridiculous. Like, he played like 7 games against OKC, and he only played in 15 or something regular, like actual minutes games, and they were all against OKC pretty much. So, and he got them all game. Alex Caruso, Jalen Williams,
those guys good defenders, though.
I think, maybe. So I'm like, if you're being guarded by the Jamal Canes and Amari Baileys of the world in Summer League, I expect you to be dominating. And I think for him, I'd be more worried if he didn't dominate than if Dillingham didn't.
Yes, I agree. He just absolutely should.
He's like older than us almost. Like,
he is older than me.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
He is older than Ant and Jaden, which is the craziest thing.
Yeah. It's weird for a rookie nowadays to be older than me, so I'm gonna take advantage of that one.
I'm too old for that. There will never be a rookie older than me. It's rest in peace to my young self.
That's all right. You're still in your prime. Let's move on to Jaylen Clark. I think he's interesting to me because he's maybe the least interesting in that I think his ceiling is fairly predictable. I think his floor might be the highest out of the 3, where he's always just going to at least be able to be a 7th guy in a rotation from here on out. The defense is just undeniably good. Like, floor of a Josh Okogie type, where you're still just going to get minutes, even if you're a complete black hole on offense from time to time. And he wasn't a black hole on offense last year. He shot 43% from 3 on just like 1.8 attempts per game. But if that can stay around 38%, like we mentioned last episode, that would be outstanding. So we'll see with Jaylen Clark, but I mean, I don't really have any crazy hot takes on him. I just think the defense is really solid, and he's a perfect Nickeil Alexander-Walker replacement. And after seeing the development of Nickeil here, I'm very confident that Jaylen Clark can have the same development, and in 4 years, he might go get $64 million.
Yeah, I agree. I don't really have that much to add either. I don't think he's a very summer league type of guy, Clark. Like, I don't want to see him shooting 15 times a game, which is kind of what you want in summer league, is to be like, oh, these young guys are going to shoot a ton, and we're going to see what they can do. Like,
but it's because we don't want him doing that in the NBA either.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think he wants to do that.
Yeah.
Like, I think he wants to be like, he is a low usage guy. I've heard interviews before where he's like, I play defense. Like that's what I do. So I expect him to be good on defense, make some threes, might get a little bit of stuff off the dribble. They might, unleash the reins a little bit on him to see what he can do. Just run a pick and roll or two every game. I think he's a kind of cool passer. Like, he's just like one of those like players who understands his role and understands basketball. He cuts really well.
Ignored when he's on the court on offense too. So like he'll have chances.
Yeah. He hits threes. He cuts. He makes like connective type of passes, not like fancy point guard passes, but he's going to hit the next guy. He can hit the roll man kind of if he's the one that gets the ball on a handoff. He can pass to the corner. He can pass to the dunker spot. So I expect him to just be like understated in summer league, just like he always is. Get the job done, and then go home. So I'm not overly excited to see Jaylen Clark in summer league, which feels like I'm underappreciating him. But I think
it's almost respectful though. Like, we know what we're getting in him, and we've slid him into the rotation pretty solidly. Well, actually, we kind of cut him out of our mock rotation last episode, but it's just because Mike Conley's still on the team. But
and that feels like where he's going to be at, where it's like it's easy to forget about him, like, because he's so solid, which is a little bit of a misnomer. But like, they were 4.5 points per 100 better last season when he was on the court, which is crazy good for a rookie. Like, it's better than Ant. Like, and obviously that doesn't mean he's better than, but like, for a rookie to be a massive plus when they're on the court, like Terrance Shannon Jr., I feel like he had great minutes every time he was on the court. They were 6.2 points per 100 worse when he was on the court. Like Dillingham, they were actually 1.9 better with Dillingham, which is a bit weird. But
my theory is that
that was 3
with the starters more often, but I could be totally wrong.
And I got that wrong actually. I was looking at offense. They were 0.1 points per 100 possessions better with Clark, so I was wrong on that whole thing. But they were -4 with Dillingham, -8 with Terrance Shannon. So like, it's to be a plus at all, or to even break even as a rookie, like, that's an achievement. Most rookies are negatives when they're on the floor. So, and I think that kind of sums up Jaylen Clark. The team was able to break even when he was on the court because he just does the right things. He doesn't make mistakes. And
it's no wonder he was the first of these three guys like that Finchie trusted.
I bet Finchie loves him. I bet Finchie loves him. I bet if you gave him truth serum and said, which guy do you want to play 30 minutes a night next season because you have to, if that was the situation, he would say Clark every time.
Oh, my dog.
I don't
know if you can hear that.
A Jaylen Clark fan has entered the chat.
Typical. But I mean, those are the three guys that we are most excited to see in this summer league coming up. It's in 5 days from when we are recording this. I don't know if I should say that or not, but we're gonna upload this in a few days. But whatever. If you made it this long anyway,
we need to stretch this content out.
Okay, but otherwise there are some. I mean, obviously the rookie Jan Berenjay and Rocco will be playing. Rocco's not on the roster yet. They got to finalize the 15-team trade with KD, so that's happening. Other than that, Martez Brown is here. Never heard of that.
Leonard Miller is a guy who's kind of the forgotten man in this. Like, he was drafted higher than Jaylen Clark by like 20 spots. So, and he will get like usage in summer league. They have to.
He might be awesome in summer league.
Yeah,
like, he might look.
I mean, he's awesome in the G. Every time he plays in the G League, he's too good for the G League. Yeah. He's not good enough to play a single minute in the NBA. So he's in that kind of weird stage at the moment.
Luka Garza.
Yeah, so he's going to be. I mean, I really I can't quit on Leonard Miller.
I don't have any opinion.
just
Like, I
a.
just think he's never gonna be anything at all. Like,
I
not
don't
in a
know. I don't.
disrespectful way, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think I agree with you, but I can't stop hoping that he will because I just think he's a cool player. And every time I watch G League games, I'm like, damn, Leonard Miller is cool to watch. Like, I don't even know if he's going to be an NBA player, but I like him. What do
Yeah.
you expect from Baron J?
I was about to ask you that because I don't know. I expect him to. I mean, obviously he's gonna play. I don't expect much. I think he's going to. I mean, what is he? 18? Like,
Mm-hmm.
he's going to be coming in a whole new like country,
He was
everything, whole new
born
everything.
in 2006. That's sickening.
Oh my
I didn't
god.
even know people were born at that age. Like in that year. Like,
I mean, I
that is
shouldn't say
crazy.
anything. I'm not exactly, but well, I was. Yeah, I mean, I was even 2000. So I mean, geez.
Yeah,
Okay. Anyways,
I'm older than every player on this roster. That makes me feel so old, man.
I mean, I hope there's not a 31-year-old in summer league. Not to expose your age, but
Yeah, so I want to see Rob throw him a lob. That's my
yeah,
baseline. I
yeah,
just want to
okay.
see like
Is there
I want to get
chemistry between those two? That'd be
yeah, I
cool.
just want to get my Twitter,
Yep.
my Twitter on.
Yes.
So I don't know what I expect. I'd like to see him be really good defensively in terms of like I don't expect that, but like it would be really cool if it was like, oh yeah, Baron J is the best defender on the court right now. Like we were told he was
Yeah.
last season when he played overseas. So apart from that, I guess you just hope that he doesn't look like the very worst player on the court. But even if he did, it probably wouldn't be like the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's that he's 2 years away from getting any real NBA minutes. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm going into this with zero expectations, and I hope it's fun to watch for Baron J. But other than that, nothing. And I really, unless he just goes crazy and is super good, I mean, there's not much that'll
Exactly.
change my view on him for sure this season.
Yeah, like maybe I guess you use him as like the Gobert facsimile. Like if Rob Dillingham and Baron J hook up on 9 pick and rolls on the
Yeah,
first
that's
game,
the next Conley
then
Gobert in 3 years.
yeah, well, you at least think Rob can play next season with Rudy. Like that's a good sign. Maybe it's more of like can other guys play with Rudy if they can play with Baron J? Like
Okay,
if Terrence
interesting.
Shannon
Yeah.
Jr. is throwing lobs all game.
It's
like,
like
well,
when
that
Ingles plays the role of Luka Doncic
yeah,
in the practices. It's Baron J's Gobert. I like that.
Yeah,
All right.
so I think that's what I'll be using him as in my mind in terms of like you're just Rudy on this team, right? On this summer league
Can
team,
we get
and
Julius Randle out there actually to play a little?
that's
learn how to
got
play
to be
Rudy better?
Martez Brown. It's got to be my boy Martez. I mean, it's Leonard Miller, Julius Randle.
Yeah, no, that's you know what? I think we actually any other hot takes on this episode, Jake?
I just mean, is he that on the summer league team? All
No,
right?
I know what you mean. Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
flip me, guys.
Oh man.
But yeah, I mean, there's some other Tristan Newton. I think he's on a 2-way again this season. So like he is
What
at least.
What about Edwards? Is he on here? Jesse Edwards? Yes, he
Yes,
is.
Jesse Edwards. So again, I think I said in the last episode that he's the worst player I've ever seen. So I mean that felt harsh. So
Hey, this is the year he bounces back though.
Who's their third 2-way? Oh, Zakarsky. So he's going to play as well. He will be interesting.
Right.
Like, in just terms of no expectations, cool to see what a 7'3" guy who, can do a little bit more than he isn't a Rudy Gobert, I don't think. Like he wants to play in the high post and he wants to shoot threes. He's not very good at it, but or he wasn't last season. But like if Rocco Zakarsky hits 4 threes in a game, that would be fun.
Yes.
Like,
is he Giannis now, or will it take 2 more years for him to reach Giannis?
But yeah, apart from that, I like that they have enough players to keep me interested. Because the thing about Summer League is you sit down in front of the TV and you're like, man, this is going to be sick. Like Dillingham, Shannon, Leonard Miller's playing. And then they make subs like 8 minutes into the game and you're like, I hate this. It's the worst brand.
Martez Brown, I guess, yeah.
And it is the worst brand of basketball ever. Every single dude is just trying to be like the star player because they want to get noticed. And I get it. I'd probably do the same if I was out there, but it's horrible to watch. So I'm happy they have like 7 guys. It feels like they could probably like most of the first few games.
What's the starting rotation? It's Dillingham, Clark, TJ, Leonard.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Baron J? or is it?
It's got to be
Jesse?
Baron Jade, doesn't it? Like, I feel like they're doing themselves a disservice if they don't just start the guy they just picked in the first round.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it is summer league after all.
And then I guess it's like Newton.
This is diabolical. This is
Newton, Edwards. I'm an Amari Bailey fan and will remain an Amari Bailey fan. Yeah, so it gets a bit. But I thought they might have like 7 guys, but I guess they have like 5.
I mean, 5 is good. I will take 5.
Yeah, and maybe a few guys. And the fact that Newton and Edwards are like guys who are on 2 ways in the NBA as well.
There are 8 to 9 names that you're like, I know that name.
Zakowski as well. I keep forgetting about him because I'm not looking at his name. So it'd be fun when he checks in as well. Like, at least those guys should be able to help the players we want to see like play a little bit better. Like Tristan Newton was a sick player in college. I loved watching him at UConn. Won a national championship as their point guard. So maybe won 2. I don't know. So that he should be able to like come on the court for Dillingham after 8 minutes, and Terrance Shannon Jr. and Jaylen Clark will still look good next to him because he is a good player. So we're in the weeds now. We're deep in the weeds. We're 35 minutes in. I'm talking about Tristan Newton. I think
I was going to try to stop you, but you were kind of on a roll, so I just, whatever.
I heard myself. I was like hovering above myself and heard myself say Tristan Newton like 4 times, and I almost passed out.
Oh, God. Yes, 36 minutes on Summer League. Dare I ask, but do you have any other takes on Summer League before we get out of here?
No, I refuse.
Are there any games that you will turn on that aren't the Wolves?
No chance. Oh, maybe like maybe like there's always that one where it's like the number 1 pick versus the number 2 pick. If it's Cooper Flag, the Cooper Flag versus Dylan Harper game, I probably will turn on if I am at home in front of the TV.
You're not watching like Wizards Jazz though. You're not turning that one on.
And I mean, I'm not going to like rush home from work or anything to watch any other Summer League games. I'm not even going to rush home from work to watch the Wolves ones. I'll just watch them later.
Oh, great point. Yeah. All right, we're gonna go. This has been fun. It has been. I'm serious. Like
it has been fun. It's been too fun. That's the problem. We're having too much fun for Summer League.
Oh gosh. All right. We will be back next week with takes on Summer League probably and other stuff. Hey, put stuff in the comments. We'll react to it.
Yes, let us know what you want us to talk about.
Yeah,
and let us know how give us constructive criticism. Not too much because we don't handle it well, and we will cry. But give us constructive criticism and tell us what you want to see more of and who you want to see on the show. We can get some guys in the Wolves community. So just let us know your thoughts. And again, I'll have this show is on Spotify now. It will be on Apple if they stop being dicks.
Yes. Next week is the Anthony Edwards episode where we have Anthony Edwards on with us. But
hey, Cooper's got some good connections in the Dane Moore show. All right, it'll be Mark, it'll be Laurie and A-Rod on the show.
Oh my God, yes, it'll be great. They'll love us. All right, Jake, this was fun. We'll see you all in the next episode.